welcome you in here on KSM Productions for this broadcast of Varsity Hockey. Today, for the second time this season, we bring you the Baldwinsville Bees taking on the Fayetteville-Manlius Hornets. I'm Killian Heffron, joined alongside by Brian Heffron. And in this game, Brian, the Bees potentially playing their final home game of the season as they take on this Hornet squad.
Yeah, a Hornets squad that, if you think about it, Killian, with the way that this season has gone for the Bees, the last time that FM played Baldwinsville here at the Three Rivers Athletic Complex, they score a goal here late to be able to tie that game. And that tie, unfortunately, was one of those ties that ends up sort of putting the Bees in a tough situation here, heading into the playoffs, having to go on the road. So maybe a little bit of revenge here game for the Bees as they get an opportunity one more time in front of their home crowd to be able to perform well and walk into the playoffs with some momentum, right?
Well, Brian, I would not be surprised here if we see a lot younger players getting in this game here on both sides. It's pretty much a meaningless game at this point in terms of sectional standings. Those are all determined by this point.
Yeah, well, and Coach Lloyd talked about that. He said that these final two games, a game that they played the other day against the CNY Fusion, and this game were going to be opportunities for players who just did not get as much playing time this season to kind of get out and get some of that playing time under the belt. So opportunity for the young guys to really step up here.
Well, with that here, we will take a break here on KSM Productions for the starting lineups. We'll be back here in a moment for the national anthem. Do not go anywhere.
Any young woman who plays hockey exemplifies resilience and determination, breaking barriers in a traditionally male-dominated sport. Tonight, we want to take a moment to honor and applaud one who continues to demonstrate exceptional leadership on and off the ice, inspiring both her teammates and fans alike. Her perseverance, sincerity, and compassion highlights her commitment to this team. A quote by Coach Lloyd himself, "I don't even want to think where this team would be without her." Through her achievements in our sport, including a shutout game last night, she advocates for increased opportunities for women in this arena and beyond. Ultimately, her influence extends beyond the rink, empowering future generations of women athletes to pursue their dreams with confidence. Abby Roth, your teammates, coaches, and all of your hockey family want to personally thank you for all you have done for the Beagle Varsity Hockey program. You are an inspiration to all future players. We will truly miss you, and we wish you the best of luck at Nazareth University. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps and join us in honoring the United States of America with the playing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of
We welcome you back here on KSM Productions for the start of the first period of this game. Had a nice little ceremony acknowledging senior goaltender Abby Roth before the national anthem, who had a 10-save shutout last night against CNY Fusion.
Yeah, absolutely. What a really cool ceremony put on by the boosters here at the Baldwinsville Bees hockey club or team. Abby sort of been an outstanding teammate all year long, so really cool to see her success, especially being able to play the other night against CNY, playing the entire game and recording a shutout for that young lady. So very cool things going for her. I know she's going on to play other sports in college, so very cool thing, and good luck to her as her senior year moves forward. Kelly, one of the things I'm going to be looking for out of this game here is the Main brothers from the FM Hornets. Drew Main, 18 goals, 13 assists, 31 points here on the season. And then his brother, Tyler, sort of one-upping him, 6 goals, 19 assists with 25 total points. Those Main brothers are something to watch here. So something that Baldwinsville is really going to have to be focused on.
Absolutely, there were huge problems for the Bees last time these two teams faced each other. Opening faceoff ready to get going. Our starting goaltenders for Baldwinsville, number 1, Chase Brooks. And for FM, it will be number 31, Mac Moses. We are underway here at Three Rivers Athletic Complex as the Bees look to close out their home regular season games this season with a win against the Hornets. Played down in, it's knocked around, and here comes FM trying to get this up. And this is brought forward by the Hornets. Here's Doherty, sends this forward. Coming in on this was Oliver Smith, but the Bees take it away and fire it up the ice. Mattoon sent that one down. It was deflected, so no icing on the play. Back to play this one is Dawson Wilbur. He'll leave this one over for Maine, specifically Tyler Maine, who sends this one up forward. Here comes FM now into the offensive zone. Wilbur dishes this one off, sent back to the middle. Oh, had a wide open net. There was Cassian Zulo. He just couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, opportunity there for FM. Just unable to close the deal with an
opportunity. Here come the Bees the
opportunity.
other way. They score!
Wow, what an opportunity that was to cash in. That's sort of what we wanted, Killing, to see from the Bees, is to come out really early and get the momentum going. Excellent delivery, excellent pass, and outlet there to catch him wide open.
That's Daniel Hinman on that one, and that'll make it 1-0 Baldwinsville here just under a minute in.
Yeah, I bet Hinman really enjoyed that one. I know the other day against Syracuse, you could tell there was lots of frustration from Hinman just the way that game turned out. So good for that young man to get on the board early.
So our first shot on goal of the game is a goal, and it puts the Bees up 1-0 here. Now, Brian, and I wouldn't be too surprised here if we don't see too much of Hinman today and the rest of that at high-end forward core that Baldwinsville boasts, just to kind of keep them healthy going into sectionals. But good to see that they're still contributing. This one will be sent on over, and Max Schock fires this one up the ice. Played now by Andrew Hawkinson, who sends this up, and it's going to be taken now by Drew Main for FM. Main walks through the neutral zone. He dumps this one all the way down. Back to retrieve this is Hawkinson, who turns around his net looking up for Spino, who gets taken down by the Ice Monster, but it'll generate a 2-on-1. McGrain had McCollum with him, and the pass there just kind of went to the skid of the defender. Now here comes FM the other way. Drew Main walking in from the side, gets checked. Here's Main. Continuing to stay on this one. Excuse me, this is not Main. This is Jack Schock, I believe, on this one. Or no, it was Main. I was right the first time. Tolan picks it up. He fires it up looking for McCollum. That did not go. And Max Schock will dump this one back down in. And Brooks comes out of his net to play it and leave it there for Don Pertel. Pertel looks up the ice as his man. This is McCollum. Sends it back over. And that was nearly turned over there by the Bees. But McCollum scoops it up. And he'll make his way out of the zone. Chipped off the boards. And FM will get right back in on it. Back there to play it was Pertel. Centering pass there. Nobody was there for the Hornets. This is sent all the way down the ice. And it will just barely become an icing.
Well, already we're seeing some great puck movement by the Bees. A couple of outlet passes there. One, a great move by Spino. Good effort. He sort of, as you mentioned, got tripped up on the ice, was on the ground, but still was able to get the pass delivered. So good to see the Bees sort of have that transition going early on in the game.
Face off one now. Baldwinsville in their own end. Breen fires it up the wall to Toland. Toland looks, and his pass there goes nowhere. It's going to be played by Zulo. Zulo on this one, and he is unable to hold this puck in. It's turned over right back to the Bees. Here is Mason Hayes, or excuse me, this was Thomas Rolfe, not Mason Hayes. Dumped down in. That one does not go. Gets fired up the wall. Now Toland picks it up. Looking to get on that one now is Zulo, who brings it down to the offensive zone. Cassian Zulo from the side. His shot there swallowed up by Brooks, who holds.
So you mentioned the things about the physicality and of people remaining healthy as they enter the playoffs. I think that's one of the things we'll have to watch. I'm interested to see this game is what does the level of physicality look like, right? Do these two teams on an early game, keep in mind it's 5:15 or 5:30 start time, an early game, do they both play physical? Or is it something where they're going to be a little bit more strategic in their play to try to avoid unnecessary injuries?
Here's Hawthorne into the offensive zone on it. He knocks it on by, and he'll get a stick on this one. Trying to escape from him there was Dawson Wilbur, but he's ultimately going to prove unable to. They'll have to send it up to the point. Baldwinsville keeps it in. Hawthorne with it down low, and this gets chipped now around up to the point where the Bees will hold this one in. Kicked up by FM, and here's Wilbur back in his own end. Fired up the wall. Now at the point, the shot comes in. Now it's patted aside there by Moses, and it will make its way up out of the zone where FM will retrieve it.
We talked about sort of players not getting as much ice time and getting there in the last couple of days, getting some time. Owen Hawthorne there picking up a goal in that last game that we saw against the CMY Fusion. So good for that young man to be able to sort of have some success on the ice.
Now on the ice for Baldwinsville, Easton Anderson, one of the freshmen on this Beeville team. Now moving forward. This one's taken away. Here's Hinman now in the one-on-one. Hinman makes a move. He walks right in. Save there made by Moses.
Good strong movement by Hinman.
Now Dorito tried to feed this one in. It did not work, and FM will take it out the other way. Main rushing forward. He breaks by one, and he's still on this puck. Dorito trying to play this one in his own zone. He'll look up, tries to chip it by, gets blocked. Dorito turns around and looks across to the other side where he has Crowley. Crowley looking up ice, and him in the pass into the offensive zone now is Weaver. Weaver to the middle looking for him and couldn't get that one to go. It's played now by FM down their own end. Good check there on Hinman, makes him lose possession, and out comes FM the other way. Sent forward, now here's Maverick Lemon, the sophomore, sends this one down in, where Cooper Barrett, also a sophomore, picks this one up for FM. Trying to get out of the zone. This one will make it out And Crowley in pursuit of this one. He's going to be harassed there by Henry Doherty. Doherty nearly gets to it, but able to get on that puck there was Crowley. Crowley tried to get it out of the zone and ended up getting blocked by Sean Mulcahy and played back in their own end by the Bees. Mulcahy sends this one back down and he takes a check, and now it's brought forward by Weaver. Weaver into the offensive zone from the side. He carries this one behind the net. Weaver still looking. He got wrapped up there, and it'll be played now by the Bees. This one sent to the point. Shot there goes wide. And now getting onto this one is Baldwinsville. This gets sent down low. Looking for the puck now. We're the Hornets, and they'll be able to scoop this one up and out of the zone. It's Cooper Barrett carrying this one forward, but this comes back the other way. McGrain in pursuit of it for Baldwinsville. It's shot up by John Urcioli. And it goes down the ice. Baldwinsville playing in their own end. Pertel across over to Hawkinson. Hawkinson looks up, found McCollum, and now this is played by Tolan, who tried to get into the offensive zone. Couldn't get that to go. Good stick there, and now here comes McGrain to the offensive end. McGrain slides over to McCollum, who couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, good defense by the Hornets there.
Shot there, save made by Moses. Baldwinsville swarming, trying to get to that. They couldn't do so efficiently. This one will get sent down the ice for an icing.
One of those plays where sort of the offensive player sort of beats you and gets in front of you, and just a little bit of that stick movement to tap it away. That's what we saw there with that Hornets defensive play. But good, strong effort by the Bees so far to be able to sort of put a lot of possessions here. They're really putting some pressure on the goalie so far.
On the draw, this one will be won by McFeeters, played down into the corner. And Beeville picks it up to the point now. Here is Nate Hinman. Hinman shot there, deflects wide. Now play behind the net by the Bees. That one came out and hit Moses somehow. Might have taken a bounce off one of the defenders. Getting over to that was McFeeters. Breen plays it over to Hinman, and it's sent up now into the offensive zone, where Baldwinsville will just send this one right back in. Down low on this one is Tyler Main. Main in his own end, getting harassed. He ends up throwing this one up and out of the zone. Breen is back there to play it for the Bees. This comes up and forward, trying to make a move on that one. And now here comes FM into the offensive zone. Wrapped around the wall. Asa Black on this one. Black tried to get a move there. He couldn't get anything going. Comes out the other way. Here's Easton Anderson. Anderson carries it forward, chips it by, and he'll go into pursuit of this one. Anderson down low as it poked away. Now coming out the other way with this one is FM. And this one will make its way out of the zone. Beeville hits this one back in. Gotta make sure they don't touch it while they're offside, and they don't. Now into the offensive zone come the Bees again. Donovan Worf shot there, smothered and held by Moses.
Yeah, Moses, good read on that play. It was a good shot, good powerful shot there, just outside of the just in front of the blue line, I should say. So.
Here's Dorito. He won this draw over to the side. Dorito turning around and tried to hand that one over to Weaver, but he couldn't get anything going there. This one gets fired back in by Mason Stutton. Comes back up to the point. Stutton gets a stick on it, and he'll backhand this one into the zone. Hinman in pursuit of this. It's picked up by FM in their own end. They will break out of the zone. Trying to get forward on this one was Doherty, but Baldwinsville able to get to him, and this gets sent on over where Mason Hayes plays it. Hayes had his pocket picked by Weaver. Weaver shoots. That one was stopped by Moses. And now FM will try to spring a rush the other way. Stepping into that one was Stutton, and Hinman will bring this in the offensive end. Hinman turns one on that there, save made by Moses. Weaver picks it up in the corner, tries sending it to the front of the net, where it gets knocked away. Here's Weaver with it again. Down low, shot there did not go. And now this one it's just kind of kicked away. Shots on goal now 8-2 in favor of the Bees. Held in. Making a move on that is Dorito. Dorito looking for Hinman in the middle. That one gets picked off, and FM breaks out the other direction. Sent forward, and now the Bees looking to get this forward into the offensive zone. Here's Hinman. In pursuit of this into the corner. And Hinman knocks this one around. Here's McGrain. McGrain turning, makes a move, tries to stick at that one. He'll give that one a couple pokes, but falling on it was Moses.
Yeah, good effort by McGrain there. The initial shot was laying out there in front of him. So good effort to just continue to dig away. The whistle was not blowing, so just kept up the effort. They talk about that all the time, right? Play through the whistle. A great situation where McGrain was just sort of not going to let anything go down until the whistle was blown.
Beeville up by 1, out shooting the Hornets 9-2 here early on in this game. Here's McGrain down low. McGrain walks to the middle. He backhands one on that same made rebound, and that one went wide. McGrain there got his own rebound, ended up just hitting it wide. This gets sent down the ice. Crowley picks it up, and he has his option. He'll elect to go to McCollum, but it kind of just bounces away from him. Spino getting harassed, ends up dishing this one back, and it comes over to Crowley, who looks up the ice, and he finds McCollum. McCollum to the middle for McGrain, whose shot got blocked. McGrain makes a move. Puts that one to the middle. This is handed back to Crowley. Crowley along over. The shot comes in. Save made by Moses. He holds.
Good puck movement by the Bees there. You had multiple players on the ice touching the puck. That's the sort of effort you want to see. You want to be able to see that puck move from place to place before finding a opportunity for a shot. So they create shots when they move around from place to place. So good job by the Bees here that we're seeing up front.
Face off one right back by Baldwinsville. Shot comes in. They score.
Nice, nice, nice. Good effort there.
It's Hawkinson on the shot.
I was going to say, Hawkinson gets the goal. Nice shot for that young man.
And that'll make it 2-0 Baldwinsville. Hawkinson off the shot for the point. And I don't think anyone touched it on the way in. And beats Moses cleanly. Beeville up 2-0.
This is what we were talking about, Kelly. We talked about Lloyd wanting to get these players out here to get some experience in. Right, he knows that this playoff run is going to be tough, and they're going to have to resort back to some of their traditional lines. But anytime you can get these players in, especially to kind of as they set up for their opportunity in the next season, it's a good decision. So, like what we're seeing here by the Bees so far.
FM here looking for a response. They move into the offensive zone. This is Maine. Maine turning around, looking, and he will end up holding on to this puck. Hornet got taken down the middle. Maine shoots there. Kick saved by Brooks, and he stopped the rebound.
Good job by Brooks. Just his ability, Brooks' ability, right? He takes the initial shot. It bounces out towards a winger who's got a sort of a wide open shot there, but Brooks is able to quickly move from place to place in order to cover that. So good effort by Brooks there. I like what I'm seeing out of him.
Faceoff will be won by Worth. Worth sends it up to the point. He picks it up the other way, and now Worth looking forward has Anderson, and that pass just kind of skips over his stick. Anderson in pursuit of Maine. Maine hits this one back. And now here comes FM out the other way. Urcioli sends this one forward. And now there's a great move there by Drew Maine. Maine walks in, and he got hooked on the play.
Yep.
And a power play coming now for FM. But Brooks was able to stop the shot. And we'll get our first penalty of the game here. And we'll see who they will take. And it looks like it's going to be Breen here. It's going to go for the hook.
Yeah, just one of those situations where he brought that stick up just a little bit too high. Referee right there to make the call. Sort of an easy call on that end. But we'll see. This is might be an opportunity here for FM to get back into the game. Certainly 2 goals in the first period is not something that they had in their game plan here. So opportunity for the Hornets to be able to sort of create a little bit more close distance here between them and the Bees at this point.
So FM power play underway. Here's Tyler Maine with it. Maine sends this one down low. In pursuit of this was Doherty. Drew Maine picks it up, looks for the middle. That does not go. Bees pick it up, and will send this one high glass. And this will skip over to stick it to the defender out of the zone. McGrain almost got there.
Yep.
He would have been gone if he got a stick on that puck. And this will get sent back in there by Tyler Maine. Here's Asa Black on the wall. He gets hit pretty good there by Don Pertel. Pertel sends this one around. It's like Beeville using this here as an opportunity to practice their normal special teams unit for sectionals. As this one gets sent down the ice, they'll make a couple of changes here. And they'll look to maintain their shape. Here's come the Hornets in the offensive zone. Here's Doherty, got hit, and it's played on the side. Sent around by Pertel up to the point, and it gets by Main stick, and having to get back is Dawson Wilbur. Wilbur turns. Hands this one over to Tyler Maine, and Maine rushes forward into the neutral zone. Has one man to beat. Maine gets by him and sends it into the corner. Engaged in a battle for this one. He carries this one out. Maine still with the puck. Sends it down low. Played by the Hornets. Comes back up to the point. Nearly getting there back to Tyler Main, but it comes out of the zone. And FM here will look to reset again. A couple more changes coming from the Bees, as Crowley and Dorito both come off the ice. Now carried forward. Here comes Drew Main there in a shot. That one's held by Brooks. Seems like a lot of trial and error here, Brian, on this penalty kill.
Yeah, there is a lot of trial and error. One thing I was noticing, Kelly, it's rare that you see, I'm just looking over at the FM bench where all players are sort of sitting. It's just an interesting dynamic here when you look at the two sides of it. So not reading anything into it, but all players sort of sitting down a little bit, maybe a more relaxed atmosphere. Baldwinsville, they're sort of standing up. Obviously, the 2-0 lead probably helps that, but.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going a little more into that. FM's one of the teams in Section 3 that exclusively sits down on their bench. One of the few teams that actually does that.
It's a really great look, but it's.
Nice contrast. That one's held by Brooks, and he
Good
grabs
job.
onto the rebound before it bounces out too far.
Yeah, good job by Brooks to read that, to be able to fall down. That puck was falling really quickly, so he kind of covered his whole body on top of that one and said, yeah, let's stop this play right here.
So now the face-off will come in the Baldwinsville end. Power play is over for FM.
By the way, Brooks, once again, just a great job by him. What a battle this young man has had this year between injuries and illness and everything like that. Really great to see him out on the ice and playing.
That one will be played by a high stick, so face-off coming back to the Baldwinsville zone.
Yeah.
It was high stick there by Joe Toland. 2-0 our score here. Baldwinsville with the lead. This is not unlike what we saw the last time they played against FM, where they got off to an early lead and the Hornets drew it back in the third period.
And I think Lloyd is going to be pretty clear to remind his players, which they probably don't need much reminding, about how FM was able to claw their way back into a lead that Baldwinsville had in this last game. So.
And now here comes a 4-on-1 for the Bees, and this will be just be knocked by McFeeters to the middle. Oh, saved there by Moses. Bit of a botched 4-on-1 there, Brian.
Yeah, great opportunity, a 4-on-1 situation, but.
That's Colton walk up. Oh, and he's going to most likely get away with one there. They're I believe the reason the officials might have not called that one is
falling
because
down on his own, or
I think they might have just deemed that the Beetle player is actually kind of holding onto his stick there.
it could have been too from our advantage on this side. I mean, the referee was sort of behind him, so maybe from our vantage point it was just a little bit different. But all right,
Walk up, one of my former teammates there, might possibly getting away with one. This gets sent into the FM bench. 2:44 left to go in the first period. Shots on goal 13-8 in favor of the Bees. FM closing that shot on goal gap. Obviously the power play helped.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they gave a little bit more juice into this Hornets team of what they were sort of experiencing before.
At the point, this one's driven in and gloved down by Moses.
That puck bounced off, sort of hit I think it hit a defender, then bounced off the ice, almost like a bounce pass in basketball before it went right into the goalie's chest pad. So
this is played. Oh, nearly losing his footing there was Maverick Lemon.
Yep.
That would have been disastrous if he had lost his footing. Shot there from Weaver, stick to side. And Lemon holds this one in at the point, gloves it down, and it takes about 3 deflections before falling onto the stick of Tyler Main, who sends this one across for Drew Ruddy, the freshman. One of the younger players getting in on this game here. Yep. Oh, what a move there from Weaver. Weaver's in, a save made. Moses didn't know where it was. Now he figures it out. But Baldwinsville there had an opportunity on that rebound, just couldn't get it to go, and this one comes out of the zone.
Well, how about the moves by Weaver, though, right? I mean, just dig and go and shake and move and just getting by 2 or 3 different players to be able to get that shot off. Great effort by Weaver.
Hinman's shot was kicked aside, and it comes out the other direction. Here come the Hornets. Picked up now by Hinman, who has some room to work with. He walks into the offensive zone. He's looking here for McGrain. That pass didn't go through. It's picked up now the other way by FM. And here comes Hannah Smith, the freshman for FM.
Great
that
pass.
one sent on in. Oh, what a save there by Brooks. Rebound comes on out to the point. That one was also shut down there by Brooks. Baldwinsville here just trying to get this one out of their own zone. Hannah Smith there had a really close opportunity.
I was just going to say, I was waiting for a moment to say, but Hannah Smith, what a beautiful pass she had right there.
Smith got knocked down there in front of the net by Nate Hinman. This comes out the other way. And here is McCollum. McCollum with speed, walks on in. He makes a move, loses the puck. It comes on back. Save made and held by Moses.
Yeah, a situation where the shot came off, but you had 2 or 3 different players who had a whack at it. It goes to the third player who makes the shot. So
We thank you all for tuning in here on this one. So far, I got 20 viewers here in this first period. Pleasure to share this one with you.
I was going to say, I like the team playing going on here with Baldwinsville, right? Lloyd's talked about Coach Lloyd has talked about that a few times this season about how he felt their away record was so much better than their home record just because he felt that they were trying too much at home, trying to show off, do a little bit of much in front of the home crowd. But when they play as a team, they really play well. We've seen that a couple of times, especially the West Jenny game, a couple of other games as well. So something that we're seeing right now is this team playing as a team.
This one goes down the ice. Now having to get back to it there was Mason Stutton. Stutton looks forward. He sends this one on over to Bennett Mattoon, who kind of lost the puck and got it right back. Mattoon in the corner. Has to reverse it, comes up to the point, and here comes FM breaking out the other way. Moving on in, here is Doherty. Doherty makes a move, he scores! Henry Doherty, and FM on the board here before the first period comes to a close.
Kelly, and I was just about to say before he made that shot, this is where they are dangerous. They're dangerous on these one-on-one situations where they get an outlet pass like that, and they just use the speed. What a great shot. I don't think anybody thought he was going to take that shot from that far out. I thought he was going to move in a little closer myself, but he was able to find a little bit of space and get it by the goalie. So 13.5 seconds. It's almost like FM has this ability to sort of break your back right when you feel like you got everything under control, right? 13 seconds left in this period, and they come back and score a goal.
And so 10 seconds now remaining in the first. Trying to get down. This one gets whacked on over. Toland over to it. Final 5 seconds tick off. And that will do it for our first period of play. Baldwinsville leading. Or maybe not, a little pushing and shoving here before the officials are able to separate them. But that will do it for the first period of play. Shots on goal 20-11 in favor of the Bees, and it is 2-1. With that here, we will step aside for a moment on KSM Productions. We will see you in about 15 minutes here following the intermission. We will be back here in a moment. We welcome you back here on KSM Productions for second period action between the Baldwinsville Bees and the FM Hornets. Game currently sitting at 2-1 through one period of action. Bees with the lead. Shots on goal 20-11. I'm Killian Heffron, joined alongside by my color commentator Brian Heffron. And Brian, this game's certainly been not as high intensity as the rest of them this year, but what do you think you will see here in the second period of action?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised about the intensity part. You know, keep in mind that we're coming off a 2-week stretch where teams were really vying for, placement here and seeding before they head into the playoffs. So not surprised there's not a lot of that physicality. But I would expect similar play. Team play by both teams, a lot more passing. We're seeing, though, one of the things we're seeing, Killian, is a lot of movement or a lot of players who don't get a lot of ice time to get out there in the ice. We saw that in the first play, which was really cool to see. So
that's also something that Coach Lloyd talked about here when we interviewed him prior to this game, just talking about how some of their players, they work hard all year but just don't get the opportunity to get in. Games like this give them that opportunity. We are underway here in the second period of action. FM in the green, Baldwinsville in the white. 2-1 our score here as we enter period number 2. This is played down low now by the Bees. Wrapping that one in front. Oh, that one nearly bounced right in. Long shot there, just doesn't make it to the front of the net. It comes up to the point. Crowley holds it in. There is Hinman. Hinman fires one wide. It nearly took a good bounce off the back of the net. Comes through, held at the point by Crowley. Dishes this one on over. Was looking for a Weaver on the one-timer. Couldn't get it to go. And Crowley sends this back down low. Hinman behind the net. Looking. Hinman ends up dishing this one off to Mattoon, who shoots one. Save made by Moses. The rebound was loose, and Moses able to dive on it eventually.
yeah, Mattoon getting the start today and getting some action, and there we go. Here's a play that he was sort of buzzing around the net, got a stick on the puck, and had an opportunity to tap it in there. So, good effort by him there. I think one of the things, Killian, that was important was that goal, that late goal by FM with 13 seconds left, right? Like, that really shifted what we thought was a pretty dominant first period by the Bees. So, see how that plays out here this second half.
Pertel landed a check. This comes around down low. Battled for at the half boards. Picked up there by McGreen. McGreen steps to the middle. It's played now by McCollum, who lost it in his skates. Sent back down low there by Andrew Hawkinson, who has a goal on the day for the Bees. Baldwinsville goals coming from Daniel Hinman and Andrew Hawkinson. The lone FM goal coming from Henry Doherty. This comes forward, and here is Max Spino, who finds McCollum. McCollum makes a move, and he just could not get up to that one. This is held at the point now by Nate Hinman. Hinman a drive. That one goes wide. Spino steps in, and he lands a play on the point. Was looking for McCollum, and they couldn't complete that pass. This one goes all the way down the ice, icing against the Hornets.
So one of the things that we were just talking about pregame was about the seating here coming up. That's happening on Sundays when they do the selections where all the coaches come together. They make their all-star selections for the section, and then they also learn about seating and where it goes. I think it's pretty confident where the Bees are going to be heading here in the next coming week here with playoffs, but we'll have to wait and see till it's official, right?
Yeah, as of where things stand right now, Baldwinsville would go to CNS to play them in the quarterfinal, but obviously anything can happen when that selection committee will get together. So we will see what the official result is. This one waved off, and it'll be played back in the own end now by Dylan Breen. Breen carries this one forward. He sends this along over, and now into the offensive zone. Stepping to this one was Thomas Rolfe. Toland picks it up. He looks for McFeeters. McFeeters walks around behind the net, and he will dip this one off to Toland. Toland up to the point. This one is held in. Shot there, got blocked, and here comes FM trying to go the other way. Did not make it all the way out of the zone, and this comes forward. Here is Doherty. Doherty carries it up the ice. He shoots that one, save made. It gets sent now to the middle, and unable to pull the trigger there. This one gets sent along over where a shot comes in from Dawson Wilbur, which got stopped. He's trying to break it out of their own zone here. Just under 3 minutes gone by in the second period. Breen in his own end. He looks up the ice. Penalty upcoming to FM. This will be turned over, but the power play coming to Baldwinsville will force the faceoff down into the FM zone.
A good opportunity here for the Bees to be able to utilize a power play, which has had success this year, right? I mean, I think they Coach Lloyd is sort of stuck with the same sort of players out here and sort of is committed to their success and the ability to sort of move that puck around and get shots. But an opportunity to put another goal in the net here and increase that lead against this Hornet team.
First look at this Beeville power play today. Here's Weaver from the side. Weaver shooting one, save made by Moses. It fell down in front, but nobody was able to get a whack at it. And the Hornets clear down the ice. And here is Brooks, who will just kind of hand this one off. Looking up nice now. Here's Crowley carrying it forward. Crowley walks in, and he will cut around the side of the net. Crowley continuing to stay on this one. Hands it on over to Weaver, who gave it back to Crowley. Crowley sends it down low, was looking for him, and that pass off his stick. Back to Weaver at the point, barely able to hold this one in. Over to Crowley. Crowley sends it down low for Hinman, who couldn't hold that puck. Back to Weaver. Weaver and Crowley will switch positions. Weaver over to Crowley. Crowley, a slap pass thing there. That one goes wide, held in at the point, and he'll send this one back down in. Intended for Hinman, but he was not able to get to it as it got blocked by FM. This one gets sent all the way down the ice, and the Hornets make a couple of changes.
Yeah, a couple opportunities there. Crowley trying to get the pass over to the left side of the ice on 2 occasions there. It was a good setup, a good movement by that penalty team, or by the penalty line, but just unable to sort of get any shots off, really.
This one is now played by Weaver. 38 seconds left in the power play. His shot there is swallowed up and held by Moses.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that shot. You got a couple of players already sort of positioning themselves in front of Moses, but could have maybe looking for the rebound that he wasn't going to give. But nothing wrong with taking a shot like that, especially when traffic's in front of the net.
Face-off won by the Bees, but this one will come out of the zone as a misfire there in the pass. Trying to cut through was McCollum, who had it taken away, and here comes Henry Doherty. Doherty with a shorthanded opportunity backhands that one into Chase Brooks' pad, and this one comes out the other way. Here come the Bees. Rylan McCollum from the side. McCollum turns, looks up to the point, had Breen. Breen shot the flex. This will be played now behind the net by Baldwinsville as they try to take possession of this one. It comes up to the point and is now picked up. Sent around, trying to come onto this puck there where the Hornets. This gets sent forward. Power play now over for Baldwinsville. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play so far today. Breen getting harassed in his own end there by Aiden Ashworth. This gets sent forward. The flex up for Toland, who couldn't get a stick on it, and having to turn around now will be Cooper Barrett in his own zone. Barrett sends up the wall, and he'll land a nice check there. Trying to get down to that one is McCollum.
Good fight by McCollum there. Good aggressive move to get control of the puck.
Long shot from Stutton goes wide. It'll be played by Mattoon, whose shot goes through. Stutton knocks this one back down low. And this will be played by Stutton. He looks out the middle. Shot there from Anderson was blockered aside. Easton Anderson there looking for a goal. This one comes up to the point, gets sent back down low. Down on it is Anderson, turning. He will hold possession of this one, gets checked a couple of times in there, and now he will will come up and he'll land a hit there. This one's held at the point, barely held in by Mattoon. Shot there goes wide. And this will be sent forward, and here comes Doherty now in the one-on-one with Mattoon. What a move by Doherty, and that one is stopped by Brooks. Got Mattoon to bite there on the little stutter step move.
Yeah, it was a really nice move there.
Baldwinsville trying to clear it out, and this one gets turned over. And now this could spell trouble here for the Bees. It's sent around down low, fired all the way up, and this will be blocked at the point, trying to chip it on by. They could not do so. It comes forward. Opportunity there for Hannah Smith. Couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. Anderson picks it up, tries to chip it by. It's blocked by the skate of John Orsioli. Anderson tries to hit it out again, and again that one gets blocked. They continue to try to battle for this. That's a good hit there, landed by Asa Black, and it gets held in. Smith shot the flex wide. Down low on this one now is Stutton. Looks over for Mattoon. Mattoon fires this one down the ice, and it will be an icing against the Bees.
Well, that was probably the best pressure that we've seen from FM in terms of a sequence here in the second period. Already 9:51 left. just controlling the puck from right to left, getting opportunity, using their speed and their physicality to control the puck, forcing the Bees to sort of just dump it down and force the icing.
Face off won by Baldwinsville. It comes up to the point now, sent back down low. And it'll be sent around the back of the net there by Dom Dorito. Carried forward now by the Bees, looking forward, and here's a breakaway now for Weaver. Weaver scores! Rocco Weaver makes it 3-1, and Baldwinsville is up by 2.
Yeah, excellent dish pass there. You could hear him barking for the puck. He wanted that puck. He was already almost at the red line when he was asking for it. So good luck here by the defensive team to be able to look up and see him and just, I mean, look at, when he gets an opportunity like that, he's got confidence to score. He's one of the high-scoring players here on this squad. So not surprised he was able to find that net. What a beautiful play here by the Bees, an opportunity to go 2 goals up.
That'll be Weaver's 18th on the year, and that'll make it his 30th point of the season.
Yeah, congratulations to Weaver. A really great, strong season for that young man.
Weaver got hooked a little bit there. His shot goes wide. Oh, they took it in behind Moses.
Yep.
That'll be Hinman who knocks that one by eventually, and the few jumps into the boards.
Yep.
On the celebration, Daniel Hinman knocks that one away.
Moses is kind of looking at his players going, hey, you're standing right there. You got to clear the puck. I can only do so much there. He kind of looked up at his player because the scene was standing right there, his teammate, sort of saying, look, you got to take that puck if it's away. You can't let somebody just come walking in like that. So B's taking advantage of just a silly play here by FM. So to go up by now 3 goals.
Hinman saw that open room, and he just kind of walked right in and knocked that one by, and that'll make it a 3-goal lead here for the Bees. McGrain making a move, tried to get that one over to McCollum, and that one is sent out of play into the net.
Yeah, watch him very closely for the remainder of this game. He's had a couple of games where he's really gone for a hat trick. I know one of them we've seen here in person at home, so not surprised. I bet you him is looking to add on to his goal tally this year.
What a face-off win there by McGrain, textbook, and the shot there from McCollum is swallowed up.
And a good job by the Bees. They were sort of, as I mentioned, they were sort of facing a lot of pressure from this FM team.
A shot there from McGrain got turned aside. McGrain now behind the net looking for room. He'll dish it up to Pertell at the point, sends it back down low. On to this one now are the Bees. This is battled for, and now here's McGrain behind the net, got caught up there, and FM will try to clear this one out of the zone, and they are just not able to quite yet.
Yeah,
that'll be held in. Great effort by Pertell.
Yeah, we're seeing just an overall great effort. You could tell they're really juiced up over these goals that are going in. They want more.
Pertell had to be careful back there. He avoided a head contact penalty, but he was able to keep his arms down just enough. As he got caught in a bad position. Baldwinsville nearly sneaks one by. That was McGrain. McGrain now makes a move to the middle. Oh, Spino was open for the one-timer, and the pass just kind of went right through him.
Yeah, an opportunity there, but good luck. Good luck by the Bees. They're really making a move to push this puck around and finding open players. We talked about the team play. That's what Lloyd has been pushing for all season. Enough of sort of the individual stuff, but more team play like this.
Oh, save here by Moses. We get a penalty upcoming against FM. And the Bees, I believe, here are going to go to the power play. Mac Moses there made the save.
Kelly, that's kind of the difference that we saw between this game and some of the previous games that we saw against maybe like the Cougars or even CNS and definitely against Rome, is that, when they have the ability to kind of move the puck, find some space, it's almost like this Baldwinsville team really clicks as a team and is able to sort of spread that puck around, and I think that it creates opportunities for scoring. But when they don't and they find frustration, it's these one-off shots that they're doing. That's kind of where things kind of fall apart and they just struggle to get it in the net.
Crowley holds that one in at the point. And here's Hinman looking for the hat trick. Hinman's shot goes high.
Yeah, great shot by Hinman there. Just a fire of a shot.
Weaver sent that one down in, had McGrain right there. And McGrain just couldn't really get that one under control. Good stick work by the FN defender. McGrain fans on the shot, takes down a defender in the process. It was loose out in front. Still they can't get to it. Turning around on the shot was McGrain, which was turned aside there by Moses.
Yeah, FM just having a horrible time trying to clear traffic out in front of the net. They're just letting guys right in there.
McGrain, what a feed there to Hinman, who got turned away. Hinman there, right there for that hat trick, but he couldn't get that one to go.
Yeah, FM's really appreciates that mispass there, that misfire, because they were struggling down there, just not able to move anybody out in front of the net.
And now here's Hinman walking on in. Hinman had a breakaway but had it poked away there just before he could get fully free. That one, I don't believe that ever actually made it on net.
No, and Baldwinsville sort of having their way right now. They're just able to sort of move this around.
Now here comes Doherty the other way. Doherty, a shot there, turned away by Brooks. But, I mean, we've seen Doherty. He has a dangerous distance shot. He's already scored on it today. It gets sent down low in. Main in his own end. Looking all the way up, was looking for Doherty. The pass was just inaccurate.
We're getting a lot of these sort of home run passes that are happening right now here.
Makes for an exciting rush-based play whenever FM gets the puck. As they nearly got another one there, but Crowley was back there. He's being pursued by Doherty. Crowley has to back up all the way over and then just ends up slapping this one down the ice.
Yeah, good movement by Crowley there to find.
And that's turned over. Here comes Doherty, had it poked away. And now up to McCollum. McCollum cuts to the middle, had it poked off of his stick. Getting in there was McFeeters. Penalty upcoming here against the Bees. And power play now for FM after the 3 seconds left of 4-on-4.
Yeah, I'm looking over at Coach Loiter. I don't think he's too happy with the decision to proceed with the penalty on that, right? I mean, Baldwinsville sort of right now having FM back on their toes and giving them an opportunity like this to kind of calm things and switch the plate a little bit. Not what they sort of had in mind. So we'll see if they can sort of kill that penalty and be able to move forward.
Lengthy 4-on-4 here for. Or not lengthy 4-on-4, lengthy power play, I meant, for FM. Let's see if the Hornets can try to get back into this one. Smith sends this one down over. Here's Main, walks in.
Yeah, Main, what a beautiful move. Beautiful ability to sort of hold that puck and sort of slide it across the stick.
That one was nearly picked off at the point now. It comes down to Smith. Smith looking around, sends this one up. Back to Smith. Smith down the Main. Main turns around. He looked for his brother Tyler Main, but who couldn't pull the trigger. Main, oh, what a great pass there over to Drew Main.
Just right through the legs. Beautiful pass, beautiful look. Just knowing sort of the whereabouts of each player on your team.
Smith takes a check, sends it down low. Here is Drew Main. That one kind of got deflected on nearly getting that was McCollum. He would have been gone if he was able to get to that puck. Instead, FM centers it, and a save by Brooks on Asa Black. Now it's just sent on over for Main. Main shot there also turned away. And here goes McCollum. We just mentioned that if he could get free, he'd have a break. And his shot there might have gotten deflected, and he goes into the wall hard. And
looks like he's up a little bit here. Looks like he's going to be able to get up on his own, but athletic trainer already out on the ice to come over and take a look. So he took that shot but had so much speed that he lost his balance, and just sort of when he crashed into that wall, it was just an awkward ability. We get the crowd who are asking for replays here from Coach Bob Lukenbach. Good to see. But good job by the player here. I think there was a big sigh of relief coming from the coach as he kind of looked over. We talked about not wanting to have any players get injured as you head into the playoffs. So scary situation there by one of their top players. How about the speed, though, Killian, on him, huh?
Yeah, he was able to break free pretty easily there, it looks like, and eventually just kind of got caught back at the end by a great back check by the defender. Obviously, it's much easier to skate fast when you don't have the puck.
Yeah.
And so he kind of used that to his advantage in a desperation attempt. Caught up to him. Here's McGrain down in his own end. It's taken by FM, and they will break this one out. Here's Dawson Wilbur in the neutral zone. Wilbur just going to try to drive this one right through. Dishes on back for Black, who got checked. It comes up to Main. Main cutting. Sends it down low. Gets sent back up now for Main. Main gave this one over now to Wilbur, but it ended up going out of the zone as Max Spino got to it. FM will play it back and bring it now through the neutral zone. Nearly picked off there by Spino. Instead, the shot there from Doherty. Even strength now, nearly getting back in time was McFeeters, but he just couldn't get there. Here's McGrain with speed, walks in, avoids the first check, and it comes out the other way. Poke forward, Main nearly got onto that one. And it gets sent down the ice, turning around, looking up, and I'm trying to bring this one forward. Here is FM. Now into the offensive zone. This one gets chipped through, knocked down.
Yeah, good positioning there on the defense to sort of prevent that pass from going through. There was a wide open Hornet waiting for it.
Here's Crowley. Gets checked to get sent around down low. Onto this one now is Rolf. Rolf turning, sending it on over. That's to be played and brought back out of the zone. And here comes FM. Moving on forward onto this one, it's Aiden Ashworth. Ashworth gets checked. It's battled for, and they're nearly able to bring this one in. Instead, Hinman runs through the other way. Hinman walking on in. Centering pass got blocked. It bounces out in a wide open net for Joe Toland, who finishes to make it 5-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with Moses there. He kind of got faked out when the puck went around. It was a beautiful pass by Hinman, by the way, who tried to get it over. And just Moses, I don't know if he lost track of the puck, because by the time he looked up, there was just a wide open net for the Bees there. They had a defensive player sort of standing in between. He takes the shot, and it just goes right by his jersey, right into the back of the net. So the Bees really sort of opening up the ice here. They really sort of had dominated the second period, and the scoreboard shows it with 2 goals.
Joe Toland there makes it 5-1. Here's Hinman. Centering pass for Weaver did not go. Weaver picks it up, finds Hinman. Hinman turns, put that one in front of the net, and another try from Weaver did not go. It comes out of the zone, and so Beeville will just send this one right back in. They'll tag up. Hinman tried to step to that one. It's deflected forward, and now it gets poked off the stick. And coming out the other way now are the Bees. Up to Hinman. Hinman fires it forward, was looking for a Weaver, and he just kind of fanned on the pass.
I have a good effort for him to come through and take that puck away.
Weaver! Oh, he scores! Rocco Weaver!
Rocco Weaver, I tell you what. I mean, untouched, Killian, though. He's got all that space, right, to come around the corner to be able to set up a shot. Just you can't let that, like, have no pressure on him to be able to find and shoot selects. And just excellent work by the Bees going on in this period, Killian.
Well, it's like Weaver there, just kind of, he saw he had a lane there from that bad angle, decided to test it, and he knocks it down. 6-1 Baldwinsville. Comfortably here in control of this one, up by 5, but not if Doherty has anything to say about that. That shot there got stopped on the way in. Shots on goal 38-19 in favor of the Bees as we get a penalty here. I didn't catch who got it, but skating off to the box is Nate Hinman, and it looks like this is for him. Yeah,
just a little bit too aggressive on the play there. Sort of not needed as well. I mean, they had they sort of had the puck turned over in that corner, but I wonder, Killian, if this is kind of the turning point where we're just going to see a lot of penalties kind of moving on out at this point, right? I mean, it's a 6-1 lead here, and in a game that, once again, doesn't have really sort of any seeding implications. You wonder if things just sort of get tired, players start sort of being a little bit sloppy, and we get a lot of penalties going on. We'll have to see.
So Hornets back to the power play. This one goes all the way down the ice. They couldn't clear it. Played back in their own end, and here comes Wilbur moving up the ice, up to Black. Here's Asa Black into the offensive zone. Stops, tries to hand this one on back. He got checked. This one gets sent up and intercepted by Maine. Maine walking in, couldn't pull the trigger, comes back on out. Doherty shot wide, and Maine can't keep this one in. It's going to fly all the way out of the zone. Pass now up for Maine again into the offensive zone. Maine dumps this one down on in. Getting down to it is Asa Black. Black sets up to the point. Here is Wilbur. Back to Maine. Back to Wilbur. Now down to Drew Maine. Drew Maine was being played there by Stutton, and he hits him in the boards, and that's going to be a pretty easy call there.
That was
probably a board here.
Yeah, very dangerous play. Sort of, once again, not needed. It was a board, a one-on-one situation. Luckily, he was able to sort of avoid getting his face into the side of the board. But
so it's just going to be. It looks like it'll just be a rough here. So he'll avoid taking a major, but into the box goes Drew Maine, and this will make it a 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think part of that is frustration, right? This is definitely not going the same way that we saw in our previous matchup here at Three Rivers Ice Complex.
This is battled down low by the Bees, looking to maybe add one more. Before the end of the period, they were looking there for Maverick Lemon, who couldn't quite corral that one. It comes out, and it's held in by Crowley at the point, who winds and fires a weak little flubber that ends up just going into the pad of Mac Moses.
Yeah, wow. And kudos to the crowd for coming out in an early game like this, 5:15 or 5:30 roughly start.
Sent all the way down the ice. Nobody will get to this one, so no icing on the play. Since it was just right off the face-off, they deem the Bees played this. Comes forward. Held in at the point now by Doherty. Doherty makes a move this time. The Bees stick with him, and they land the check. And a little extra pushing and shoving behind the play. Meanwhile, McFeeters comes up the ice, shoots it into the legs there of number 22, Cooper Barrett. It's sent forward. Here's Doherty with the lone goal on the day for FM. He got stopped there. And here's Spino. Flips it up ice for McFeeters. It kind of just jumped over a stick, but the defender gets taken out by the ice monster. And McFeeters' shot there got denied. It comes up to the point. Bad pass out of the zone. And that will do it for the second period of action. 6-1 our score. Baldwinsville with the lead.
Yeah, Bowman's were really flexing their muscles in that period. FM looked a little bit, I don't know if it was tired, a little slow in the ability to keep up with the Bees. The Bees being able to spread the puck across to multiple players here. So that's how they got to building what was that, 4 goals in that period? 3 goals?
4.
Yeah, 4. So good period of play for the Baldwinsville Bees. They're going to head into the locker room feeling pretty good and then see if they can close this one out here with additional 15 minutes left.
We'll be back here in about 15 minutes here on KSM Productions. At the end of 2-6-1, Baldwinsville shots on goal 39-20 in favor of the Bees. We'll be back here in about 15 We welcome you back in here on KSM Productions' 43rd period of action between the Fayetteville-Manlius Hornets and the Baldwinsville Bees. This game currently 6-1 here as we head into the third. I'm Killian Heffron here, joined alongside by my color commentator, Brian Heffron. And this game has certainly been one of Baldwinsville's most complete performances so far here. A lot of younger players getting in on this one.
All right, we are live back here at Three Rivers Ice Complex in Baldwinsville, New York. Heading into the third period, 6-1 Bees above an FMT who, by the way, if we think about the game that they played the last time against the Bees, they ended up having a bit of a comeback, although I don't know if a 5-goal lead will be enough. But one of the things we're going to have to look for here in this period is just to see the players. We already see some players this game that have not had much playing time, which is a really cool thing. That was part of Lloyd's plan as he entered this game, so we'll have to see how that continues to go. Yeah, face-off one.
Set to go here. We are underway in the third period of action. Baldwinsville up 6-1. Bees on the power play here for the next about 50 seconds. I didn't have time to get it back up on the scoreboard because it kind of reset during the intermission and I had to fix it. Anyways, this gets sent down on in. Baldwinsville trying to play it in the zone. 30 seconds left on the power play for the Bees. This gets chipped up, sent up, and this is knocked down. What a move there by number 13, Owen Hawthorne. And it gets sent on over. Anderson sends a drive to the front, and that was looking for the rebound there. Nothing going. Here is Weaver. Sends it to the front. Oh, it's loose out in the front. Nobody could get to it. A couple of younger guys there were looking for a goal, but nobody was able to end up getting a stick on that puck.
Yeah, they really were. There's some younger players out there who are really trying to get their ability to sort of take advantage of the opportunity to get the playing time and get some goals on the net for the Bees here.
And now, here comes a 2-on-1 for the Hornets out the other way. Save made by Brooks. He holds.
I got to give credit for Brooks here, who's had a solid game, I think. Just in the right time, being in the right place. Had some really great opportunities where they were sort of flying around, especially in that first period, and he kind of held it together. So
face-off taken, and that is won by the Hornets. It comes up to the point, fired down in, deflected wide. Sent up to the point, shot down low. Trying to pick up this one now is Don Pertel. Pertel chips it up, and here's Spino trying to get out of the zone. Spino whacks it forward. This gets knocked on over. This is sent, and here come the Hornets trying to break in, but they can't get into the offensive zone. Fired forward by McGrain. Comes out the other way, and now it's just sent forward by Pertel now into the offensive zone. Pertel with a nice reverse hit there on Asa Black. Black kind of stepped into him. Pertel was expecting it. This comes out the other way, and here comes Main down the ice. This is Tyler Main. Tyler Main walks on in. What a move. He shoots off the goal post.
yeah, great moves by Man there on that situation. Just could not be able to find it an inch or more to the right.
And now this one gets chipped out of the zone. Definitely a little more physical here, Brian, early on this third period.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're trying to set a little bit tone. I don't think the Hornets appreciated that many goals coming in and extending that lead.
Tolan, the shot there, save made. McGrain couldn't get there in time for the rebound. That's held.
Part of the message, I think, coming from Lloyd to his team during that period was like, hey, let's keep an eye on not, where we get in troubles when we find ourselves in the penalty box. We don't want to let FM crawl their way back in with the man advantages here. So we'll have to see if they play smart, right? Physical but smart is the sort of style.
That one gets blocked here, and it comes out the other way. Here is Baldwinsville, sent down in, knocked away by Moses. And now behind the net, here comes FM, trying to break out of their own zone. It gets chipped forward, and here come the Hornets. Here's Cassian and Zulo with it. Ends up giving that one away to Mason Stutton. Stutton sends this one on over. And now here is the shot on net, save made and held by Brooks off the shot from Oliver Smith. 22nd shot on goal for FM on the day. Shots 41-22. 6-1 here, 14-14 to go in the third. And let's get a face-off on Brooks's left. And officials currently checking on Dylan Breen's equipment. Might have been a little bit of an equipment issue. Now that that's all sorted out, we will get set to go. Now he's all good. And this faceoff is won by Weaver, down low into the corner. He gets sent forward and sent down the ice. Trying to get onto that one there was Weaver. Stepping in and absorbing the hit in the process there was Dorito. Gets sent up and out of the zone. And it bounces over to stick there of Nate Hinman. And FM nearly got an opportunity, but they were just unable to crowd that puck as it went to the offensive zone. This comes up the other way. And here come the Bees into the offensive zone. Shot there from number 14, Dom Dorito, goes high and over to net. Dorito there, the deflection in front, and then off the shot from Weaver, and that one went wide.
Yeah, good job by Dorito to try to get a stick there to make that deflection.
Into the offensive zone. Oh, what a move there by Doherty. He just couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. And FM, their transition game has been very good today. That's another example of that long pass up that's going to be picked up and sent over to Hinman in the middle of the ice. Hinman shooting, looking for the hat trick. It got patted aside. And out comes FM the other way. Dumped down in, and linesman there nearly got hit by Weaver, who was stepping up to try to make a hit on the Hornet. Big hit down there, and that's going to be a penalty as the elbow came up from number, I believe that's Asa Black. And now here come the Bees the other way. Shot there high. And over the net. And power play coming for Baldwinsville. That'll be for an elbow. I believe this is going to be Asa Black here. That's going to go to the box for this one.
Yeah, Asa Black finding himself here a couple times in the penalty box this game. We'll have to see if the Bees can capitalize on putting one of their more physical players off the ice and see if they can take advantage of that.
So Baldwinsville back to the power play. Certainly hasn't been the most effective today, but they've kind of been treating today, it seems, as more of like a tune-up for their power play units. Just kind of setting up some plays. This one gets sent on over. Ripped save made, and that's held. Moses there holds that one. 12:47 left to go in the third. 6:57 p.m. is our current time. Usually, Bees start games so late that they don't start for another half hour. Feels very weird here, having a third period at it's not even 7 yet.
Yeah.
All the way down the ice. This is Brooks, fires it on up out of his net, and this is going to be played now by the Bees in the offensive zone, and it's offside just barely.
Yeah, barely offside, but good hustle to try to get it out of there.
Rylan McCollum looking to break in. Couldn't do it. Offside the call.
So kind of looking a little bit forward, we were talking about the play that might happen between the Bees and CNS, Killian. I think that's going to be actually a really one of the more intriguing battles here in that first, or I guess you would call that a second round, right? Because they're going to have a bye. So that's going to be an interesting game. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the Bees come out against a team that I think that was one of their big disappointments, was a loss that they had here at Three Rivers against that CNS squad.
That CNS squad's had an up and down year here. We'll take a look at the Section 3 standings in a moment, but certainly hasn't been the most successful of years from the North Stars, although they've been able to pull off some big victories when they've needed it. However, other times they've just kind of laid flat.
Well, and I think this is, you know, the two wins that we had here, if this pulls out to a win, I should say, the two wins that come out of this.
Again, they're a big save, and now we get some extracurriculars after that. Good save by Moses there as the attempt from McCollum.
What I was going to say was, though, is that sort of that momentum that you want to ride right into the playoffs is getting two big wins here. Ones that the coaches, I think, are happy with. You're getting, once again, players on the ice that didn't get in ice before, resting a little bit more from your normal players that are getting ice time. So
this one's fired up and held in at the point. Shot comes in, wide than that. Opportunity, turning around. Shot got blocked on the attempt from Donovan Worth. Trying to hop onto this one there is Easton Anderson. Anderson swaps it up, and he shoots this one wide. Over onto this one now is Worth. Worth and Maverick Lemon there engaged in a battle for that. Sent all the way down the ice. Final 25 seconds of this power play. Bertel in his own zone. He'll look up. Has a couple of options down the ice. He'll elect to just dish this one off to Weaver, who carries it up and gains zone entry. Weaver shooting one. Oh, he had a lot of room on the far side of the net, but he just couldn't find it. And that one goes all the way down the ice here. Final 8 seconds of the power play. Baldwinsville now up to 45 shots on goal. Chipped around. Here is Pertel. Or excuse me, Weaver picks this one up, not Pertel. McGray nearly came out of the scrum on the boards with that one. Instead, Weaver picks it up. Weaver into the offensive zone. He looks for Anderson in the middle. Anderson couldn't really corral it. He put it in front of the net, and now we get a whistle. And we'll see what it's for. I believe the net came off, and that's what it got whistled down for.
Yeah, it looks like a sort of a loose net situation.
Baldwinsville 47 shots on the day compared to FM's 23.
One of the things, Killian, is that we were talking about the great road record that Baldwinsville has. I believe it's 7-1 now, or close to that. Maybe that works well for the Bees, having to go on the road and play, you know what I mean, just down 31 here against a North Star team. So maybe that bodes well for them in the way that this sort of has happened this season. It's an odd thing where, once again, you have sort of a tough time at home, but your road wins are impressive.
They got an injured Hornet down the other side of the ice. It's Cooper Barrett who is down grabbing his knee. And immediately the trainer jumps out on the ice, and you can see there the official talking to him saying, can you get up? They didn't want to have the play in, but ultimately just forced to blow the whistle here. We'll step aside for a moment here on KSM Productions. 6-1 Beeville with 10:14 left to go in the third. Welcome you back here onto KSM Productions. Now we'll take a moment here to remind you of our sponsor, Ads on the Go.
Yeah, Ads on the Go, your destination for mobile advertising. You've seen the truck driving around Cicero, driving around Clay, driving around Fayetteville-Manlius, all those places like that. Your opportunity not only to be able to advertise your business, but to be able to advertise a celebration. Perhaps it's a wedding, perhaps it's a graduation, perhaps it's a happy birthday, perhaps it's a I love you Valentine's Day message. Whatever it is, whatever the call, Ads on the Go, always ready to broadcast who you are.
And so we will resume play, and Beeville picks up back in their own end. They will look to break out of the zone. Looking on up, here is McGrain walking on in. McGrain from the outside, got stick checked there. This comes along up, takes a weird bounce right back to McGrain, who ends up dishing on over to McCollum, who got stopped by Moses.
Yeah, great effort by Moses there. McGrain sort of feigned on the shot, which led it directly to Weaver to take the shot there. So just sort of kind of had to keep his head on the swivel there as we had multiple Bees sort of moving in, but great job by Moses there to stop that play.
Face-off there is one. Shot comes in, and that one's turned away there by.
Oh,
they score! It's
what a
McFeeters.
play. What a play. Great dish pass behind the net. Moses just didn't know where it was. I don't think anybody kind of knew where it was, and he looks up and he finds to be able to dish it in. So great opportunity there from the Bees to be able to cash in.
That'll hit 7-1 here in Baldwinsville. Starting to run away with this one here.
Yeah. And once again, spreading it out, right? In terms of all players sort of getting touches on the pass, in terms of not only just assists, but goals. Really seeing some great team play. Coach Lloyd has to be happy with what was going on in that situation. Now you see him talking to the referee. Not sure what that was about, but.
AJ McFeeters gets credit for the Bees goal, and now trying to come on in as Rolf, who tried to get to that one, was unable to do so. And here comes FM the other way. Doherty to Black in the middle. Black shot there wide. And this one is just tipped on up, sent down low. Gets takes a weird couple of deflections. Played behind the net now by Hawkinson. Hawkinson will look up ice, and he found Rolf, who ended up just kind of trying to get that one by the Hornets, but no can do on that side. So it's chipped by into the Beeville bench. Didn't get blown dead.
Yeah, did
FM
it hit
here,
a player and come back in?
I think it
really
did.
odd.
FM here going to keep their offensive possession going off of that. This will get knocked there into the corner. Doherty. That's a point main shot there, patted aside. And this one comes up out of the zone where Pertel just sent this one down in. Beeville makes changes. Shots 50-25 here in favor of the Bees. 7-1 our score, 8:35 to go. Played back in their own end by Weaver, and here comes Weaver for Baldwinsville. Walks on in, sends this up. It gets deflected in. FM will take possession down low, where Ellis Thompson fires this one up. It gets down. Oh, no! It got deflected into the goal. I don't know if that hit him in front or if that went off the defender.
I think we're gonna give it to we give it to the young man right there.
I think
He's super pumped.
I think this is Nate Hinman here that's gonna get this one.
What a great shot. Let's give it to him, man. He deserves it after that play. He's pumped.
A wacky deflection in front of the net. I don't think this ever touched Daniel Hinman. I think this is gonna be Nate Hinman on the goal. The freshman will pick that one up, and that's going to make it 8-1 Beeville. Beeville scored some wacky goals today.
Yeah, first varsity goal for Hinman. They'll be keeping that puck.
That's a big one there. Both Hinman brothers getting on the score sheet in this game. This one gets turned over now, and here comes FM. They walk in, shot there, fanned on by Ashworth. Sent to the middle, and it comes up now, played at the point by number 12, Dawson Wilbur. Wilbur down low. He gets hit, and he gets brought down, where the Bees will just get this one up, and it's not going to be quite out of the zone yet. Now it'll get kicked up, and now jumping onto this one is Donovan Worth, who had it taken away. Trying to jump up the other way now. Here's Wilbur walking on in. Wilbur makes a move, has it poked away. And now Baldwinsville here maybe trying to streak for one. And here is Anderson, who stays on his feet. Anderson chips this through, was able to stay on his feet a couple times there and then tried to bank it out the goalie. And that one's just going to get held there by Moses.
The Bees now outscoring their opponents in the last 2 games, killing in 17-1. Something that we saw sort of in the 2 weeks, I think, before, where they went through a stretch where they were like something like 23-4 or something like that in terms of goal differential. But after, once again, a frustrating game against Syracuse, you know, it's nice to see these Bees sort of flex their muscle a little bit.
Definitely a game that they'll definitely need to up that momentum here as they go into sectionals. Meanwhile, Tyler Main nearly took out 3 people and scored. He ended up just having it poked away at the last second, but awkward situation there for FM. This gets sent forward. Trying to get onto this one is McCollum. McCollum with speed. He's able to get to it initially, but good positioning by FM will negate that opportunity. Now the other way, here come the Hornets making a move. Oh, wide open in front of the net there was Cassian Zulo. His pass was just off his stick. And the Bees dig this one out of the zone, and now off of some line changes, here comes Helen Doherty. Doherty walking in from the side, sends it to the middle, did not work, and now the Bees will try to bank this one up, and here comes Hawthorne. Owen Hawthorne walking on in from the side. Hawthorne shoots one, save there made by Moses, and now another opportunity for McGrain, who tried to stuff it in. That one also did not work. And now it comes out the other way. Here's Helen Doherty, sends it down, and looking for her brother, Henry Doherty. Doherty looks in the middle, nothing going there. Henry Doherty sending it there, was looking for the centering pass, didn't have anything going. He will turn and send this one down low. Trying to jump onto this one now is number 14, Shum Mulcahy. And this comes up the other way. Good move there. And here comes Donovan Worth. Worth to the middle. The shot from Hawthorne wide.
Good shot by Hawthorne.
5:20 left to go.
Sorry, I was just going to say just a powerful shot that was sort of right off the tip of the stick there.
This gets sent all the way down the ice, icing against the Bees. 5:11 to go.
Looks like they're going to make a goalie change.
Yep, and in the net is going to come Parker Sachs for FM. So Sachs getting some more playing time. And we will get here, I believe, not sure what's going on here. Looks like they're changing the goalie. I believe they're asking if they are allowed to warm it up or if they need to take their time out.
Yeah, they're going to give him a little warm up.
I believe this does count as their timeout. So timeout called by FM here in order to warm up Sachs.
So maybe we take a look at that schedule here while we have a break. Pull that up. Oh, sorry, not schedule. I missed standings. That was my fault. Okay. Yeah. All right, there we go. That's what we were looking for. So taking a look at the standings, let's walk us through there, sort of the end of the regular season. We still have a couple of games. I think maybe RFA has one game left that counts. Might be, I know the number is 20, is it?
Yeah, RFA still has
I think
one
they play
more.
Watertown tonight. I think that's the final sort of Division III game that counts. But
Yeah.
what do you see in those standings, Killian? In terms of when we started the season and the expectations, what sort of are you looking at there?
Well, RFA, when we entered the season, they were supposed to be the #1 overall favorite, and it seemed like that for a while, but it dropped a game, upset loss to Casanova, and then they had a big loss against West Genesee. That gave West Genesee that 1 seed. If RFA wins tonight against Watertown IHC, they will overtake Syracuse because they have the head-to-head. However, due to the tie-breaking procedures, they will end up with the 2 seed. 5:04 left to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the storyline this year is 2 things. One, it's the surprise of the Cougars of Syracuse, right? I think nobody expected them to be able to be where they're at.
And here comes an early test here for Sachs, backhanded wide, and a good hit there. We get it, a few whistles as the net gets sent careening off by a sliding B.
But I think the other storyline has to be, and we all kind of looked at this year as being possibly the year that West Genny might have sort of a kink in the armor, right? And the opportunity for other teams to take advantage of that. But in typical fashion, West Genny sort of just works their way through solid players to be able to move themselves to the top. And once again, they are the team to beat this year.
Now, West Genny, when they started, their one loss coming to Baldwinsville in Section 3 Division 1 play.
Yeah.
But one of the big notes in that game, Brian, is that Nick Maloney, one of the stars for that West Genesee team, was not quite up to full game speed yet. And as soon as he got up to full game speed, this is coming from Derek Crowley, one of the coaches who knows him. That one's going to end up in the FM bench. Once he got up to game speed, he has been a big contributor for FM. Yeah, for West Genny.
Yeah, he has. He has been a terror since, and that's sort of, we see that a lot. That's why the beginning of the season is always so interesting, because teams are really starting to sort of just trying to figure out who they are, right? So you can't really take much away until you get into week 6, 7, before you start to see some movement happening of who the powerhouses are going to be. But it's going to make for a great Section 3 tournament. I'm really excited to see the matchups this year and how they shake out.
I think that the Beeville CNS game is going to be a pretty interesting one. I mean, it's going to be a quarterfinal, so we're going to have a week in between this game and that one. But
do you find any teams that you think in that first round games that might have the ability to do an upset, maybe in FM if they have one?
Well, I mean, in terms of upsets here, I would say that probably the team you're most likely to see go on the road and win a game in this first round in Division 1 would probably be Ontario Bay. And just because they've had a wacky up and down year, their one win came against FM.
Yeah.
However, they've been very close to some of these teams in the remainder of the play, and it's just been, they just haven't got the bounces here and there. I mean, they played Beeville close. They held CNS North Stars close through most of that game until North Stars eventually ran away with it in the third period the other day. So I think that's going to be one of the big things, is just how is that going to play into effect. Maybe we'll get an upset from Fusion or one of those, or Mohawk Valley or one of those other teams down there. But in terms of Division I, that's probably what I'm thinking. And meanwhile, you look at Division II.
Yep.
And that's going to be certainly an interesting one.
Yeah, Division II. I mean, you just got so many. You got New Hartford, you got Whitesboro, you got Scan, right? You got these. And by the way, that Whitesboro team, Baldwinsville played them and played a really good game against Whitesboro. A win for Baldwinsville, but that Whitesboro team was impressive. Big physical play. They've got speed, great goaltending. They're going to be a team to watch out for in Division II.
Division II trying to dethrone the 3-time consecutive state champion Skinny Atlas.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think there's a lot of teams sort of played close to Scan, or they, and we had a little bit of physicality here, expected in a 8-1 game with 2 minutes left. But I was just going to say that, Scan, I think, kind of showed itself in moments this year, but there are other teams that played. If they didn't even beat Scan, they came close to beating Scan. And I think that's kind of built up some confidence amongst teams in Division II. So that's another great matchups that we're going to have to watch very closely. I'm excited about playoff hockey here in Central New York for 2026.
Long shot comes in there, save made. It comes out of the zone where FM makes a long pass, intercepted there by McGrain. McGrain walks on in. He puts on by, tries to get to the front of the net, but he couldn't get to that puck in time.
Well, we got a minute. Being that this could be our last broadcast for the season for the Baldwinsville Bees, we just want to thank a couple of people here. We want to thank Coach Lloyd, who's been just tremendous in being able to open up his players as well as him during our pregame interviews, et cetera, et cetera. We'd like to give a shout-out also to the people who run Three Rivers Athletic Complex, just a great facility that allowed us to sort of put up our equipment, set it up here. And then also, I think just a note of thanks also to our viewers, right? We heard from so many different people this year that found these broadcasts to be helpful. A lot of out-of-towners, a lot of people across coast to coast. It's really been fun to hear about where people are tuning in from as they watch relatives, family, friends, etc. Play on this team. So,
Bees certainly putting a show on for them here. Down to 1:10 left here in the third period and the regular season for both of these squads.
Yep.
This comes out the other way, and here's Doherty maybe looking for one more. Oh, he nearly pulled that one through the legs there of Stutton. Was very close to executing that move. Now he walks in from the side, was looking there for number 4, Helen Doherty, but couldn't find it. And now here comes McCollum. McCollum just fans on the shot, then he takes a second attempt, stopped by Sachs. Down the ice it goes, no icing. And the Bees will play it back in their own end.
well, the Bees are going to have a week off, and I think it's going to be really important for Coach Lloyd and these guys to sort of rest up, right? I mean, obviously they're going to have a few practices just to keep things fresh, but this is going to be a really interesting opportunity. This Bees team, remember about the progress they've made from last year. A team that did not perform well, was very disappointed in the season last year. You had hardworking seniors, just outstanding senior leadership this year. It's something that Lloyd has been sort of talking about all season long. So kudos to the seniors. Good luck in the playoffs. We're going to be watching right along with them. Excited to watch this Bees team and see what they can do.
Final 5 seconds will tick away, and with that, Baldwinsville will win their final regular season game of the year, 8-1 over the FM Hornets.
Yeah, good solid play here. Just some. We talked about the importance of team hockey, and we saw it on display today. There was really just over across the board. Each individual player kind of putting in and having their time and a moment to shine. So just some good solid stuff. I think it's going to be some good things, good vibes for the team to kind of go into the playoffs here with. So congratulations to this Bees team. Congratulations on what was a bounce-back season for them. And I expect, Killian, that this squad that you have here is going to be competing for several years here. They got some good quality talent moving through. So congratulations to the Bees here on a good regular season.
Well, with that here, we will sign off from Three Rivers Athletic Complex. Baldwinsville improves to their final regular season record of 13-4-3, and FM will fall to 9-9-2, and that is how they will end their regular season. Final shots on goal, Baldwinsville 57, FM 26, and our final score, Beeville 8, FM 1. We will saying farewell here from Three Rivers Athletic Complex. We will see you all next time, and goodbye.